Hi, all. This is Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York, where the weather is hot, hazy, humid, and it looks like rain as I look out the window. Well, let's hope it doesn't rain for all those that are still at the beaches. I did not get to go to the beach today. We had to have some work done around the house and waiting for the repairman and all of that kind of stuff. So it's been that kind of day, but it allows me to come to you a little bit earlier than normal on a Saturday. So hopefully when you get back from the beach or at whatever activities you're at, you will have time to partake Dr. J's Markets at a Glance, concentrating on the direction of the Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, uh, what else? The RUT, and of course, selective biotechnology stocks. This week it'll feature sell-side for change, CBM, athx, athx, which has been under attack by Hitman AF, and also ocul, a very interesting I play. Not I, but EYE play. Biotechnology stock that has a drug already approved and is furthering its indication for that drug. So, in addition, we're going to take a look at the highly volatile Bitcoin US dollar. And I think it went from something like 12,000 to as low as, I think it went even higher. Well, we're going to take a look at the charts. I know it hit 10,000, bounced off. We're going to look at the charts. We'll see where it might go in the coming week. If you're the type of player who likes to go long, short, every which way, and get some big swings, I think Bitcoin is the place to be. It's not my game, but it might be yours. We're going to take a look at it. As always, for your own due diligence, my opinions are strictly my own and do not constitute investment advice. I know JD from Dallas is into the Bitcoin mania. JD likes action. Okay, so let's go to where the action is. Please subscribe to the blog if you haven't already. Tell your friends about me. Share the screen. Give me a thumbs up. Write comments and so forth. I'm going to get to the screen, the video screen now, video charts. So you're going to lose me in favor of my charts, but you'll still hear me talking, hopefully. We're going to share screen right now. The Mets have been really faced with some tough luck, blowing four in a row at Philadelphia, where they had leads going into the eighth inning, seventh or eighth inning. I mean, it's really heartbreaking. I feel bad for my buddy Mickey, manager, Mickey Callaway. Okay, let's get to the RUT first. I'm also going to take a quick look at on my phone to see if there happen to be any. There's a couple of people here, I think, chatting with me. No. Yeah, look at the lag. I have to shut the volume on my phone. I'm not going to bother with looking at the chat messages because it slows me up. But by all means, if you want to write a chat message, go ahead. And maybe later in the video, I'll be able to respond to it. In any event, right now, we're looking at the RUT. We're looking at the weekly on the RUT. And the RUT is one of the weaker indices, way off its high. Let's see, the high came in April, I think. No, the high came in September 2018, September 4th. 1740 is the high on the RUT. And this is, of course, is the Russell 2000, 742. Russell 2000 was up 20 points on Friday, had a very good day, up 1.29%. I think might have been the best of the four major indices. Let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly shows a bottoming right about here at 1460, and it turned in a pretty nice candle on the week. It was a green candle. I'm going to blow up this picture a little bit. And it had a long lowish shadow, which is pretty bullish. So it finished strongly for the week. It finished in the green for the week. The weekly candle from the week before had a close of 1549. We picked up 17 points on the week. Not a lot, but it's still a gain. And it has some catching up to do, the rot to the other indices. Notice on the weekly, the 50-day is just barely above the 100-day, which is well above the 200-day. So it's in the order we want to see it, based on the 50-week moving average and the 100-week moving average and the 200-week moving average. So everything is in order, except we would like to see the price of the RUT cross the 50. Right now, it's just nudged above the 50-week moving average. So that's a positive sign. Of course, the target would be a full retrace from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, where we were at a high of 1618. So the immediate target is 1618. The longer term target is 1742. I think there's a lot of room to run in the rut. I think we can easily get that 10 or 15% to put us into new highs. And that could come in short order. So the rut, I think, could be the biggest mover of the four indices over the rest of the year. And let's take a look at the daily before I move on. The daily on the rut, hear that in the background? That's some thunder. So we have this big green candle marking the end of a downtrend. Pulled back from 620, where the high was 1570. Pulled back to a low of 1518 on 627. That big candle gave us a lot of momentum. Carried through, that was Thursday, carried through into Friday with another big candle. And we're going to challenge on Monday, taking out the 1570 high that started the recent pullback. So this is the daily. We had basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-day reversal of the uptrend, and now it looks like we're very soon to resume the uptrend. So look at it this way, like a 1.5-week vacation from going up. We don't like it, but that's short-lived, 8 or 9 trading days, and we're back in business following the old trend line up, which I drew last time we looked at the Russell. So I think we will resume following that trend line sometime next week. So Dr. J is bullish on the Russell 2000. Of course, we had a rebalancing on Friday that gave a lot of individual stocks a lift, and it may have given the Russell a lift as well. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Averages. I think it's been the weakest of all the averages lately, probably because of stocks like Boeing that have had their share of its share of problems. Um, let's see, we have on 6/1 on the weekly a high of 26,907, which fell very close, which came very close to the all-time high set on 10/1/18 of 26,951. So we just missed, in effect, forming a double top. And the following week, last week, was a tiny little ranging red candle that you can't get too excited about one way or the other, but it shows the doubt in the minds of investors. It couldn't follow through and make a new high. And if we look at the daily, you're going to see that a bunch of dojis. I think 4 out of the last 6 trading days were doji candles, which obviously indicate doubt on the part of investors, a tug of war between the bulls and the bears. So the Dow is less clear than the rut as to direction. It's possible going into next week we can have a bifurcated market, meaning that the rut will show strength while the Dow will show weakness. It's a little unusual, but it happens. Let's take a look at the daily here. I'll show you what I mean. The daily. Okay, here we have on 6/21. That was last Friday, not the current Friday, the Friday before. We had a massive, a pretty wide-ranging candle that just missed the all-time high, came back down to essentially a gravestone doji. It had a little bit of a body, so you might get away without calling it that, but it's still a very bearish-looking candle. And the Dow has, over the last year or so, whenever you had an occurrence of a gravestone doji at the top of a run, of an upward run, it's been pretty ominous. It's been a pretty reliable predictor of a downturn. Well, sure enough, we did sell off to a low of 26,465 from 26,907. That's not that much. That's 400 or 500 points. Not hardly worth mentioning. So the question is the downslide for the Dow over? Well, this candle, the low is put in on Thursday. The bounce back up on Friday was very tepid, even though we're up 0.28% or 73 points. Again, we have a doji. It's not a gravestone doji. It's a more bullish looking doji. However, it's still a doji, and it shows indecision on the part of the bulls and the bears. So there's a tug of war going on in the Dow 30. The good news is the 50 is here. We're trading well above the 50. The 50 is trading just a little above the 100, which is trading way above the 200-day. So it's a very nice bullish arrangement here, even more so than the rut. It's just that short term, it could be a little more trouble ahead, at least for the beginning of the week on the Dow 30. Let's take a look at the rest of the indices before moving on to Bitcoin and the biotechnology stocks. The S&P has been arguably the strongest of the 4 indices over the short term, having made a new all-time high. It's a little slow in loading, so bear with me. I'm getting rained on through the window. You hear it coming down? Wow. Suddenly the skies just opened up in Long Island, New York. So this is the weekly on the, whoa, what am I touching here? This is the weekly. We came down to just about where we expected based on a fib retracement. And we popped up to an, oh, I believe an all-time high here, 2964. So we have an all-time high 2 weeks ago. Last week, the high was 2954, 10 points lower. But it is a nice looking candle. It is a doji, pretty much a doji, not exactly. There is a small body, as you can see, as I magnify the chart. So it is a tiny red body, but it is more than just a doji. And it has a long bottom shadow, which is very, very bullish. So even though we actually lost ground on the week, we lost very little to 29 to 28.89. That's not a lot. And let's see, from the close last week, it was 29.50 at the close. 29.50 to this week, 29.41. We lost 9 points. So it's not, we didn't lose much, but it shows the indecision. We couldn't just nudge above to make yet another new high last week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have another week of dilly-dallying where we don't quite get to another new high, if we don't give back too much more. Let's take a look at the daily. Okay, the daily, we can see a clear-cut bottom on Wednesday that was put in at 29.12, and that was a low off that recent high at 29.64. So on Monday we had a new all-time high, 29.64. We made a low on, no, this was on 29.64 was on last Friday. And Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were 3 down days where we gave back off that high. Notice it was a gravestone doji, so it doesn't surprise me that we had 3 days in a row down. And now we're starting to come back up. We need to take out the high of last Friday, 29.64, in order to assure that we are continuing in the bull. If we make another high lower than that high, and then another lower low, then technically we will have turned into a short-term bear. Right now we're still in a short-term and long-term bull market on the S&P, the strongest of the indices. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ for completeness. Wow, is it pouring? I think I'm going to have to close that window. So hang on a minute. You can look at the chart while I close the window. I can talk as I close the window. I'm very talented. It looks like we're consolidating in a triangle pattern on the NASDAQ 100. It's clear as can be. We made a high, not an all-time high, but we made a high at 1770, and we've been consolidating ever since, and in a pennant or a triangle above the 50-day, which is above the 100-day, which is above the 200-day. So everything is as it should be. And we are trading above the 50, which is what we want to do. So technically, this is all very bullish. We have a bullish flag, and we should break out to the upside. It might take till the end of the week because we have room for a lot of little short range candles until, let's say, Thursday of next week, when I expect a little upside pressure on the NASDAQ, which has been, I think, consolidating at this point. So consolidation in the NASDAQ 100 should lead to a breakout to the upside. So we have mostly a very bullish picture of the four indices, the weakest one being the Dow Jones Industrial Averages, and maybe that could be explained away by one or two companies of the 30 that have had their problems. It's, when it comes to 500 stocks, like in the S&P, then it's, one or two stocks are not going to have that major an impact, like in the Dow. Okay, let's take a look at the three bio. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin before we take a look at the three biotechs. Shutting the window might have been good in that I'm not going to get rained on and my floor won't get all wet. But meanwhile, I don't have air conditioning in this office, so Dr. J is working up a bit of a sweat as I chat. So picture a very sweaty, hot Dr. J looking at the Bitcoin chart and saying, boy, I can see why people are playing this. It's better than the casino. And as you can see, it's had a tremendous run up from 7,500 area to a high of 13,826 in a matter of, it looks like about 3-4 trading weeks, culminating in that big green candle, followed by a big red candle taking it down to 10,285, followed by a green day. So we've had green, red, green, red. The day Thursday was green, taking us back up to over 12,000. And we closed Friday at 11,904 with a low of 11,300. We closed Friday with a pretty bullish red candle. It had only a bottom shadow, no upper shadow, a fairly significant body. One that I wouldn't get upset about, except we failed to make a new high from the week before. 12,433 was not, from the day before. But Friday, we could not take out Thursday's high. So to that extent, it's a little unsettling to Dr. J. I would have liked to see that high taken out. I will say this, if the low of the day on Wednesday of 10,335 is taken out, look out below. The next stop is a 50-day moving average, which is at about 8,800. And after that, we're looking at 7,450. And if that goes, and we're looking at the 100-day, probably would be about, about 6,900. And if that goes, we're looking at support way down at about 4,500. So it can go down very, 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 very fast. Just as it went up quite fast, it could melt down even faster. So you could take the steps going up, but it's usually the escalator going down. And that could happen for all those who are long and strong Bitcoin. You're a better man than me, Gungadin. I don't have the stomach for it because I see the precipitous drops inherent in the chart. What goes up fast goes down even faster. And of course, there's always a law of a weaker dollar means cryptocurrency, whatever. It translates to cryptocurrency being strong. I don't exactly understand why, but that seems to be the case. So if the dollar remains weak, maybe we do make some new highs. I don't know. I just don't trust this coin, the Bitcoin, or any other cryptocurrency. The chart is very iffy. Let's take a look at I haven't looked at it myself, but let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly has that long upper shadow showing problems in last week's action. Of course, the 100-day is ahead of the 50-day, not day, 50-week. The 100-week is above the 50-week, which is an anomaly that I don't like. That was crossed on 2/24. So there are signs of weakness. Should this green line should the purple line cross the green line, to me that would be very, very bullish. And I don't know, pick a number, 20,000 if that happens. But it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. It looks to me like there's more chance of a give back than there is a continuation of this rally based on just the chart. I don't know anything about the fundamentals of Bitcoin. CVM. CVM is the biotech equivalent of Bitcoin. You put your money down and you throw the dice and you either win or you lose. It will be a binary event that will cause people to get wiped out or become millionaires overnight. On 6/24, we had a high of 895, and on 6/25, we took that high out at 899. But we turned in a very big red candle, very bearish red candle. We've yet to trade out of the body of that red candle. So until that happens, I would say that there's still something to worry about. It did have a nice bounce back off of a double low that it put in on 6/27 of 701. So we have a double low at 701, bounce back nicely on Thursday and Friday after making that double low on Thursday to a high of 851 and a close at 838. So the question is, does it have enough to continue to rally past the 899? And the answer is perhaps. It's hard to say. I mean, it looks reasonably good, but until we take out that 899, the immediate direction to me is unclear. It's highly speculative. It's highly shorted. There's a lot of longs going in and out on a daily basis on a long side. There's probably even more shorts going in and out on the short side. There's heavy trading on this one relative to what it should be getting. In the long term, not long term, in the intermediate term, I kind of like its chances of meeting its primary endpoints in its head and neck cancer study. And if it does that, if it meets primary, secondary, and tertiary endpoints, this could be worth 20 times what it's at now, just to throw out a number. The CEO throws out even more outlandish numbers than me, so I'm not too upset about saying 20 times. On the other hand, if it fails to meet any of its endpoints, 0 is not too far out of the question. So it's really a risky play, but Dr. J is in it to win it. There's another one that Dr. J is in it to win it. And you know that there's a lot of excitement in athx as the multi-stem data readout for ischemic stroke with its partner Helios in Japan is coming towards a conclusion, less than 12 months away, probably. AF, Adam Feuerstein of STAT, had his pen out and gave a hit piece like you wouldn't believe. It sent the stock rollicking down to a low on Thursday of, let's see, a low of 155, only to close with a beautiful green candle at 168, the high of the day. Don't you just love it when it closes at the high of the day? The only thing I don't love is it closed right at resistance at the 50-day. So what's going to happen on Monday? Will we get a follow through to the upside? Will we get some pullback? My feeling is we probably get a little pullback, maybe to 163, and then maybe resume the uptrend. We also have to notice that the 200-day is above the 50, is above the 100. We want that 50 above the 100, above the 200-day. So there's a lot of straightening out that has to be accomplished here. The price of the stock is now at the 50. We want it above the 50. So there's a lot of, a lot wrong with this picture, so to speak. So in the short term, I'm not overly bullish, but I'm a little less pessimistic, believe it or not, than I was before the hit piece. I own a lot of shares. I remember I was upset that athx is going to the public to sell shares to raise money. One reason that probably occurred is the refusal by its partner Helios to continue to expand its trials to China. So a China deal would have been worth 15 million, didn't happen. So maybe they need the money and they got to go elsewhere. In any event, I don't like ATMs where companies sell at the market. It has a nasty way of killing rallies. You never know when the company is going to hit the sell button. And that kind of works against you. In the long run, yeah, I like this stock. I'm going to stay in it. You got to be in it to win it. But in the short term, it's tough sledding ahead. It could come back to 163 and then go through the 50. That would be the ideal if I'm in the bullish case. On the other hand, if it goes back down below the 153, then we're looking at it at the bottom on 612 to hold, which is 151. And I don't know if it will. I mean, if it breaks through, well, I'm sorry, 155 was low on Thursday. 155, and then you're looking at 151, 4 cents, it could easily go. Then we're looking at 150, and then after 150, you're looking at 142. So there could be some tough sledding ahead if we go negative here. Positive, if we get above the 50, then we could be looking at taking out the high of 617, which is $1.88. So on the positive end, the target would be like to take out 188. On the short end, the target would be to take out 142, I think I said, right? So the range that we're looking at is between 140 to 188, about 46 cents. 23 to 142 is 165. That would be a middle range, $1.65. We're at $1.80. What are we at? $1.83. No, wait a second. We're at we closed at $1.68. Why is it saying $1.83? Am I confused? Let me refresh this. I am getting confused. I have to refresh this chart. There's something wrong with that. Yeah, now it's showing $1.68. Okay. I don't know what the other chart was, why it was showing $1.88. This is better. I mean, $1.88 was better, but this is real. $1.68 is where we closed. I said $1.65 was the middle of the trading range. So $1.68 is about the middle. So my feeling is it's a coin flip, whether you're going to make it to $1.88 before you make it to $1.42 here. And actually, as a bull, I'm hoping that we get a continuation of this rally. But there's nothing in the charts that excites me all that much. So I'm going to wait and see. If we cross the 50, I might add here. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking to add at lower numbers. So if it just pulls back a little, I'm probably going to just watch. That's my own feelings on athx. I do like it for the long term. I like it more after AF attacked it than before. AF is a paid basher, in my opinion. So I think very little of his negative attacks. I mean, what he says is true to have failed trials. We all know that. He's not telling us anything we don't know. It's very unfair to elaborate on the negative without counterbalancing the positive. And AF has a way of being very unfair. So yes, Chugai, or Chugai, however you pronounce it. Yeah, those trials did not meet primary endpoints. The Pfizer study for ulcerative colitis did not meet primary endpoints. Tell us something we don't know. OCUL. OCUL. Ocular Therapeutics. You know something? It stopped raining. That was a quick rainstorm. That's typical, though. I mean, if the skies open up like that, it generally is short-lived. Well, it didn't let up entirely, but enough for me to open the window and breathe. So we have, again, consolidation here. We have an we have a pennant that looks very, very bullish to me. I bought it down here on this breakout on 6-7. So I have strong gains in this stock. And I'm looking to add upon a breakout above the trend line that I drew, or at least above the 200-day. I will be adding, looking for $6 on a swing trade. So that's just what I'm going to do. You do what you want to do. You know, I'm just looking at this chart. To me, it looks bullish. To somebody else, it might look bearish. That's what life is all about. So I think we covered everything. I'm going to stop sharing. I want to see your comments. Please share. I see that Greg is on. China truce, market can boom. Yeah, that's a fundamental reason, not a technical one, but certainly a very important one. I think the Chinese are looking to resume talks, and we're going to simply promise not to add any news in the interim. So that looks like a win for the United States, a win for Donald Trump, and a win for the stock market. Hi, Greg. Greg says hi. Can't see the picture? Wonderful. 331, you couldn't see the picture, so I'm talking for nothing. Hopefully that cured itself, I hope. In any event, if not, that happens. Let me see if I can get back on the camera right now. Can't see the picture, huh? Oh, there I am. I see the picture. Hello, Dr. J. Just because I see it doesn't mean you see it, though, does it? Well, I hope you do. It looks like it's trying to reconnect. Ah, there I go. So I got thrown off the internet by my internet provider. I won't mention the name. I've mentioned it in the past. I don't really want to overdo it. But it's not really their fault. It's really severe weather outside. And I apologize for any inconvenience that you may have experienced in the interim. So this is Dr. J reminding you to trade well, trade smart, be smart. And I'll see you all during the week. Hasta mañana, maybe hasta mañana. In any event, be well, subscribe to the vlog, tell your friends about me, give me a thumbs up. Adios, amigos. Ciao.